What's going on, Fit Pros? I want to welcome you guys to the very first episode of the In the Trenches Fitness Business Show. I'm going to be interviewing personal trainers, fitness business owners, online personal trainers that are in the trenches right now, figuring out how to grow their businesses, and also going to give you some of the challenges that they've had, some of the successes that they've had, and just overall just dive into you guys and help you guys figure out how to navigate what this world is that we're living in today for personal trainers and how to grow your businesses. Today, I have the luxury of interviewing Nate Palmer. Nate is a NASM certified personal trainer and corrective exercise specialist. He's also a precision nutrition level 1 coach. I want to welcome you to the show. Nate, how's it going?
Bro, I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me on, Andy.
Man, I'm so excited that you're on the show and that we're going to dive into, who you are, what you're delivering to the fitness industry, and what you're delivering to your prospective markets, and how you're adding value to who it is that you're trying to serve. So tell me a little bit more about your business and what you've got going on.
This is my favorite part, Andy, because I get to brag about myself without it being like bragging,
Exactly.
I'm like, all right. So my name is Nate Palmer. Like you said, I really appreciate the intro. I serve entrepreneurs and business owners, commission-based salespeople, people with growth mindsets. And my big goal, Andy, is to help people develop a different paradigm around nutrition. I want people to understand that nutrition doesn't only impact like your diet and your weight loss, but it impacts your energy. It impacts your performance at work, as well as in the bedroom, with your family, in the gym. And we need to use nutrition as a way to get better instead of always being like, oh, nutrition, I'm on a diet, I'm trying to lose weight,
right?
Which I think is so boring. I also wrote this book called Passport Fitness, based off me and my wife's experience of being able to travel through South America for about a year. And how I was able to essentially keep a good fitness and nutrition routine on the road, being in weird places all over South America.
That's awesome. Now tell me how you got started in the fitness industry.
I've been in the fitness industry for about a decade. I started in 2009. I basically ran into a website you might have heard of, T Nation, back in like 2007, 8.
Absolutely.
I was getting a degree in like business and psychology at the time, and I was like, this shit sucks. So I read every single article that T Nation had put out from 1996 to 2008, and I was like, I like this. So when I graduated college, I was like, well, let me become a personal trainer while I figure out what I want to do with my life. So I never figured it out. So here I am.
I kind of feel the same way. I was an athlete my whole life, competed in college athletics and played baseball. And after college, I was like, I went and worked for an insurance company, and it was horrible. I was sitting at a desk all day, and I was like, man, this is not for me. So I started personal training part-time, working under somebody else, kind of learning the ropes, and then branched off and started my own business about 14 years ago now.
Cool, man.
So now you also wrote a book. Now tell me a little bit about what made you think about, how you could write a book, and what maybe challenges you had when it came to writing that book? Because I know a lot of personal trainers want to write a book, or, want to brand themselves for something, but maybe something in their mind's not connecting or clicking or giving them the motivation that they need to actually do that process.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. And I'll also give a cautionary tale about books too, because books cost money to make. I don't know if you knew this, but you don't just like get to write one. You have to actually pay a lot of money to do it. Anyways, so I had a product called Bod in a Box. So Bod in a Box is basically how I stayed in shape on the road. It has some sliders in there, a couple of different resistance bands, a suspension trainer similar to the TRX. And then I built out, Andy, this whole like year-long program around this piece of equipment.
Yeah.
The goal of being like, hey, you're on the road a lot for work. You need to figure out how to get those workouts in. And like when you're in a hotel, when you're out in like a dirty laundromat in Colombia, or if you're just, don't have time to get to the gym in the morning because work is like, you have something early, right?
Yeah.
And it was not a big success. I won't say it was a failure, because I still have them. I like them. I got clients who are using it.
Yeah.
But no one was signing up to get involved with this product, because it's really hard to talk someone into going from zero to daily short workouts. It's a big barrier of entry. Everyone eats, not everyone exercises. So trying to get like going there to there is like going 0 to 10. So I wrote this book essentially talking about how to stay in shape on the road, with the end goal being like, if you read this book, you're going to want to buy a Bod in a Box. That's kind of the path I was taking people down.
Right.
So while I like the book, I think it's great. It has a picture of me holding a spectacled caiman that I pulled out of a river in Panama.
Wow.
I think it's fun. It was really fun for me to write the book. It does not necessarily point at the service and what I'm currently promoting.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna say it's worthless because I still wrote a book and it's awesome, and I made it up to #1 on Amazon, some physical fitness thing. So it's cool to be a best-selling Amazon author, but it did not increase my bottom line. I got zero extra revenue from having this book.
So what the end goal for that book, which is, thank you for sharing that lesson with us, because a lot of times, we have projections in our mind of what something's going to be. And a lot of times that just doesn't pan out, and it's okay. It's a lesson that you learned that you're moving onto your business now, which you won't make that same mistake again.
You're right.
So I think too, a lot of times we think in our businesses, we have to be perfect or we're going to make all the right decisions. And that's just not true. You're in your business. You have to evolve. You have to change. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to pivot. But that's how you grow. And that's how you consistently stay on top of the pulse of your business.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's also a good lesson for anyone who's like trying to enter the online personal training space. There's so much to do and so many different people offering you things at any given time.
Right.
Should you be posting on Instagram? Do you need to get into your stories? What about IGTV? Is Snapchat a thing still? I actually don't know. Facebook groups, are those the way to go? Do we need direct messaging people on Facebook? Do I need to be cold calling? What about my email list? Do I need a CRM? There's a billion things you can be focusing on. And literally like 99% of those things, Andy, don't produce revenue for you. And I think all young personal trainers, myself included, fall into the trap of doing more, creating more content, and not doing anything that's generating revenue in the moment. So that's why I'm a trainer with a book. I've had a website for 8 years. I've got, between my email list, my followers on Instagram and Facebook, several thousand people. I'm not doing as financially as good as some personal trainers or online personal trainers who have been in the business for 1 year and don't even have a website, because they have just done a better job at creating conversations, building relationships, and solving people's problems. So I think that's a big lesson for people there.
Absolutely. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, right? Putting out content that resonates with your target market, that actually is going to create conversations and get them to take this call to action that you want them to do with the content that you're putting out. I think that's what's important.
Yeah, because anyone can slap like a live, laugh, love sticker on some like serene nature picture and be like, that's content. No, it's not content. It's distracting. You're not doing anything with that. You're just adding to the noise that's out there.
Right. And I think
like you said, you can create those conversations. That's the key.
Right. And I think too, like you were saying, there's all these different things that we're seeing. Oh, you got to be on Instagram. You got to be IGTV. You got to be on YouTube. I think it's important for fitness business owners when they're starting their businesses to focus on one platform. Get that one platform down and narrow that focus on that platform until you've got that system dialed in to where it's generating leads, right? Generating leads for you on a consistent basis. And then once you have that dialed in, move on to the next platform. I call that the one plus theory or 1+ strategy, where you get one system dialed in and then you move on to your next system.
Yeah. Or figure out if it's even worth your time. I dipped out of Instagram there for about 3 months, and now I only post on it for fun. It's my preferred way of like killing time on the toilet, but I don't get any business off Instagram. So I just post mostly memes that I think are funny, pictures of my baby girl, and then pictures of my biceps. So.
Nice. Awesome. So tell me a little bit about some of the success that you're having and what do you attribute that success to?
So the last 2 months, I'll be transparent, have been the best months of my entire career in the last 10 years, like online, in person, whatever else. And I've worked long days and kind of gone the personal trainer route where I was training 35, 36 hours a week, which puts you in the gym 50 hours, making good money. But I've had the 2 best months, August and September, and I know September's not done yet. The big thing that was a game changer for me was working with my coach, Dave Smith, and him helping me develop what's called a signature offer. So similar to what you're talking about is, how do I solve one person's pain point better than anyone else can? And how do I get myself in front of those people to the point where I'm not dealing with like an echo chamber filled with fitness professionals who are all trying to argue about keto, but I can go and be like, hey guys, I have this very specific solution to this problem you're having with your energy. Let me help you solve that. And people are like, okay, I'm in. I don't even have to sell anymore. I don't have sales conversations because the product that I've created for people is so well suited to what they need, and it answers their problem better than they even knew, like more than they even knew they had the problem, right?
Yeah.
So that's like that. I think that's been a like massive success. Last month, I was actually also able to finally hit my big goal, which was location freedom.
Oh,
So
nice.
I was able to work from a different location where I'm in Phoenix right now, but I was able to be up in the Pacific Northwest for a month and work from there. And it was just so great to be able to, you know, I was juggling a lot of stuff, but like to not have to be any specific gym or any specific place. Unbelievable.
Yeah, funny that you said the signature solution, because I just started studying Aaron Fletcher, and he also is big on the signature solution, being getting that solution down for your specific avatar, who you're wanting to serve, and be their go-to for whatever it is that you want to be known for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And I think that, like, exactly like you said with the OnePlus system.
Uh-huh.
No one goes to a generalist for specific advice. If you serve men and women from 20 to 60, no one cares. You don't serve anybody. You're not helping anyone.
Right.
If you serve a very specific niche, people will come to you and be like, "Hey, I'm not in your niche, but I know you got this. I know you get it." Right. So when you're solving a problem, I think a lot of like young trainers are also scared to go deep because they're like, well, I don't want to exclude so many people.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're like, well, if you're not like, if you say your demographic is nurses, for example, or airline captains, yeah, you're excluding a lot of people, but you still have thousands and thousands of people in your demographic, and you couldn't possibly help them all.
Right. So, I know what you're saying, because I know when I first started my business and I didn't know a lot about marketing, and I was like, man, I can train athletes, I can train, seniors, I could train everybody. And I, just thought that, a lot of trainers that are just starting think that as well. But now in my business, after 14 years, prior to 14 years, I've really narrowed down, I train mostly seniors, 50 plus. I market specifically to 50 plus market. And that's what's really grown my business and really narrowed down who I serve, and a way for me to grow. And people, when they're referring to me, they know exactly who I want.
Yeah. And it's so much better, right? Because like, if you're a general trainer, no one can send you a referral.
Right.
But like, if you're like, I train 50-plus-year-old people who want to be more active and want to like have a healthy life well into their 70s and 80s. When I hear someone say, you know what I'd like is a healthy life in my 70s, 80s, I go, oh, Andy. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's how you
I love too that you talked about, being a trainer, working a lot of hours. And I think sometimes a lot of trainers that are just getting started compare themselves to somebody like that's in your position now, or like my position after owning a business in 14 years. They want that, but they don't know what we did to get there. Because like, I know as a business owner for 14 years, when I first started, my wife helped me get the business started. She worked with me in the business. I was the sole provider for the family. So I needed to make money like ASAP. Mm-hmm. And so there was a lot of pressure on me. And I literally worked like from 4:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night with an hour lunch, training as many people as I could in that time, because I had a family to provide for. But like now, I work half day Fridays. I barely work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I have, a full-time staff member. So, but that didn't happen overnight. And that didn't really only took place in the last 6 years, where I, am not working as much as I used to. But you have to be willing to go through the grind if you have a vision for what you want your business to be.
Oh yeah, bro. And I think like, exactly like you said, it takes sometimes 10, 14 years to become an overnight success. Exactly. People like PM me all the time and they're like, well, like, what did you do to get there? I'm like, where do you want me to start, bro? Like, I put in my 10,000 hours, like pretty early in my career, because when I would finish working, I would come home and read about training. I was obsessed with it. Like, so like I said, I read all those T Nation articles, which by the way, I think is still one of the best bodybuilding and training sites on the internet.
Right.
But like beyond that, getting new certifications, reading different books, just being like interested in what you're trying to do. And I think people are like, oh, online training sounds easy. Let me get into it. And it's not easy. You have to lay a lot of work. You have to do a lot of annoying things to be successful in this industry. Even if you're a great personal trainer with a great following in your hometown or your gym, you still got to go put in work if you want to be successful online. It's a whole new skill set.
Right.
So I think that people come in and are like, well, like it's been a whole 3 months. Why aren't I making $10,000 a month yet? It's the same way people are like, well, it's been 3 weeks. How come I haven't lost 60 pounds?
Exactly. Right.
Bitch,
Yeah.
how long did it take
Same
you to
thing.
gain that weight? You can gain it in 3 weeks, guaranteed.
Right. One is ultimately it comes down to, you have to be consistent. You want to get results with your health and fitness, you have to be consistent with your nutrition and your training. If you want to get results with your business, you have to be consistent with doing the things that you're focusing on, your revenue producing actions that are going to actually help you build, your revenue and ultimately build your time freedom.
Are you telling me there's not a magic pill for this, Andy?
Unfortunately, no, no way. So right now, we've covered a lot. We've gone kind of into, some of your struggles. What are you doing right now that's actually giving you the success that you had the last 2 months? I know you talked about really narrowing down, your signature solution, but how are you marketing specifically to get your target client?
Well, this is a paradigm shift, but in order to get more online clients, what I've done is gone offline. So I've been going into different businesses, different offices, different places where commission salespeople, people
Mm-hmm.
who are in charge of their own business, write their own paychecks, kill what they eat, those types of people. I get in front of them and I tell them how nutrition can impact them on a daily, weekly basis, because so many of these people are like, oh yeah, I want to do better financially. And then they are crashing out from 2:30 to 5 p.m. because they ate a big Chipotle burrito. And so I'm like, like I can be like, hey, literally you're writing your own paycheck. Let's write that number in a little higher and let's eat like we're winners, and people are like, oh, like I never even thought of it like that. It never even occurred to me that my nutrition plays a factor into what I'm making on a daily basis. So when I'm able to get in front of a room full of people that are growth mindset, commission-based people, they get it, and it's just a no-brainer. Like then that's like they'll try to get people into my system with like just an easy funnel.
Yeah.
Like I'll have them go to a website, they'll download a piece of valuable content, they get into my system that way, and most of the time, I'll get like 30% booking calls with me.
That's awesome. I love that you're giving that example because, you're an online fitness trainer, but you're actually going, your feet are hitting the street and you're actually going out and putting yourself in front of people, which is ultimately how you're going to drive business. It's the same for online or the same if you own a brick and mortar business. If you want to drive revenue into your business, drive leads into your business, you have to be willing to do the work that's going to generate leads in your business. They don't just magically appear.
No, you got to get in front of those people. And I think that a lot of times, like especially in training, there's this cool kid trainer club where we want other trainers to be like, oh, that guy's cool, has a lot of followers. But other trainers don't pay our bills. So when you go into like, a lot of people are like, well, I'm just going to go into like a fitness group, or I'm going to go to the gym. And like, no, those are already people who are thinking about fitness. You need to go where there's someone who's not thinking about fitness, and you need to be the only person talking about fitness to that group. I'm sure you've heard the term blue ocean, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
Getting out of that place where there's a lot of sharks circling and going and finding the place where you're the only person talking about fitness. And the way that you can do that, I'm sure like, Andy, you know this, but to get in front of like seniors, you need to go find other people who work with seniors who are not trainers.
Absolutely.
I need to find, and you need to form relationships with those people. You need to figure out how you can help them and then how you can help their audience. And so when I go to someone, I'm like, hey, listen, you work with commission-based salespeople, bring me in. I'm going to help you look like a rock star in front of these people for bringing me in. And then I get to grow my network. They win. The people who get to hear me win. Even if they don't sign up with me, they leave with a nugget that's going to help them get better results in their life. Like, tell me how that's not a great scenario where you can create win-win-wins all the way around, and then you get paid on it. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And ultimately too, like you are getting in front of who your target market is. You are delivering value to them that resonates with them because you already know what they feed off of, what sparks them, and you're doing that through the trainer. One of the trainers that I follow, Eric Lapham, he says that everybody has a circle of influence around them. Each person, like I have my own circle of influence, you have your own circle of influence of people around you. Find the people that have your target market, that their circle of influence is your target market, and get them in front of you, get them to promote you and your business. That's exactly what you're doing. I love it.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been fun. And I mean, it sounds really easy. Like as I say it, I'm like, oh, that's why didn't I think of that? But I mean, it's taken me a long time to figure out who I resonate with, who I love working with, what their problem is, what they're like, not only what their problem is, but what their deep problem, what's the problem they don't even know that they need to fix. But like when I say it, they're like, oh yeah, that's right. And then where do I go find them? These are big steps, right? So if you're listening to this and you don't necessarily know where to go with that, like that's okay. It just takes some work. And like you said, Aaron, or Andy, I'm sorry. When you're working in a gym and you're hustling, you're working 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., you get to meet a lot of people. You get to shake a lot of hands, train a lot of different types of people. And you can just getting that experience is so invaluable, Andy,
definitely.
Knowing who you like and what are they doing and what do you need help them with, right? So I think that's one of my favorite tips to give someone who's like new to this space is go be an in-person trainer. I think you get a lot of expertise there.
Well, I think too, like you really learn who you like working with. Like, maybe you thought you liked working with athletes, but then you start working with athletes and you can't freaking stand it. So once you're working with different sections of the market, like you really realize like who it is that turns you on, who brings a smile to your face when you see them, who are you happy to train. And then you're like, duh, like I need to be training only these people. They make me happy.
Yeah, they light me up. This is someone who gives me energy, doesn't steal it from me,
Exactly. And then like you said, that just takes time.
Yeah. I think like the gym takes time. Investing your money to create more money takes time. Building a business takes time. But we live in the Amazon Prime era. People want their results. They want them yesterday. So just take a breath, enjoy the process, figure out who you like working with, and then do that. Every single day, like I'm not going to say like every single day of my life is so amazing, but I get up every day when I've got such a fun life. I get to work with great people. I get to do all these tasks that I like doing. So whether I'm creating videos or writing content or interacting with people or doing programming, it's so fun to be out there. Recently, I've been like even helping some people kind of like talking to them about their own businesses and like helping them kind of ask those hard questions.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to have like just different hats that you wear throughout the day. I just love my life so much. It's great.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. After, you've been in the industry for 10 years. I've been in the industry full time for 15 years. And like we're saying, like, I don't think that I have it all figured out. And I don't think that you think you have it all figured out. And I feel like just constantly learning and growing and evolving and making changes in your business that are going to help keep you relevant and help keep your income where you want it to be and make projections and goals. I think it's important for fitness business owners to continue to make goals and keep striving for something. Now for you and your business at 10 years, how do you keep yourself motivated and how do you keep setting goals that you want to attain?
I think like you said, just realizing I don't have this all figured out. There's always more stuff. And which is what I love about fitness. Because when I started off, I was a personal trainer. And then I was like, man, you know what I love? Building muscle. So I read everything I could find about building muscle. And then I hurt myself. And I was like, man, what I got to do next? So then I learned everything I could about biomechanics and physiology and anatomy. And I got these cool stretching certifications. And then I was like, Mel, this doesn't seem like it's helping people get results. So I dove deep into nutrition. I learned a ton about nutrition. And then now I get to build my online business. So I'm learning a ton about SEO and marketing and like the different social media platforms and kind of like we talked about with the getting into your niche. And now I'm learning about public speaking and how to deliver great presentations. And it's so fun to it keeps me motivated to know that I'm constantly learning and growing and improving myself at the same time as I'm helping impact more people and helping people get what they want. So growth and fun are both big motivators for me. So I like to make sure that I'm growing and having fun on a daily basis. And if I'm doing those things, then I feel that I'm motivated.
I think too, it's important for you to surround yourself with people that have like a vision for themselves and their businesses as well. So, like attracts like. If you are getting yourself around other fitness business owners or other business owners that are going for goals and actively doing things to grow their businesses, that actually motivates you as well.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm a part of the Online Trainer Federation group on Facebook, like I said, with Dave Smith. And so I'm in his like Inner Circle, the Elite program. And it's so great because like, even though some of us have been doing this longer than other people, and some people are new to the industry entirely, some of them are new to online personal training. It's amazing to be in a place where like you can go for support and feedback like that. And so like I posted a 50-minute presentation that was filmed on my camera. It was pretty shitty, to be honest. And I had like 6 or 7 people watch the whole thing and give me great feedback on it and how I could like tighten it up and make it better. And like, who does that?
Right.
Who spends their time to like help someone else out in that way? And I just thought that was so cool. So
So yeah, that's just the importance of getting plugged in with people that are doing what you're trying to do, all different levels, guys above you, guys below you. You can help somebody that's on their journey. Somebody else above you can help you on your journey. And I think it's important that we all continue just to give back to each other, to an industry that for me personally has given a lot to me. I allowed my wife to stay home, raise our two daughters. We have a home. All that is done through the business, you know, and so I want to give back to an industry that's given a lot to me, and I'm sure that you feel the same way.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, it's so fun to like, you know, you've been in the industry 15 years and you can see all these mistakes that new trainers are making. And it's fun to be like, especially if someone's like humble enough to be like, hey man, what do you think of this? And they'll ask you for feedback and you can be like, well, I can see you're making this mistake that I made and you can be making this mistake that I also made. And it's just like, it's great to be a mentor as well as be mentored by people.
Oh yeah,
so like,
absolutely.
I've been super blessed to have a ton of people in my life, you know, in the fitness industry and outside of it, who have been just like amazing at helping me grow my business, always been a sounding board and stuff. And I want to make sure that I'm, you know, I'm that person for someone coming up too.
Absolutely. That's why I'm so glad that I've had you on this show, because that's the whole goal of this In the Trenches show, is just to provide value to trainers no matter where they're at, so they can learn from my mistakes, learn from the guys that I'm going to be interviewing like yourself, and realize that they're not in it alone, that we're, you know, there's somebody that's going to be here for you that can help you move along in your journey, whatever that may be.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks a lot for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Man, we touched a lot. I think it was freaking fire and golden. Do you have any additional golden nuggets for the audience?
Yeah. So I think here's my big thing. And this is one of my greatest strengths and greatest weaknesses is the pursuit of imperfect progress is a big thing for me. So I have a lot of friends who are perfectionists who always want it just so before they move to the next step. I'm a ready, fire, aim type of person. So you say you want something, I don't even want to know the details. I'm going to go out and do it. And it's probably going to be pretty shitty at first, but then we tune it up, we tighten it up, we fix it up a little bit, you know, and so sometimes it works out really well for me because as you go, you like build up. Sometimes, you know, wish I had spent a little bit more time doing the research ahead of time, but like, I just want to encourage anyone who's listening, who's like, oh, I need to have this in place first. I need to get the certification. I need to knock out this piece. I need to go through this email sequence. I need to go, no, just start somewhere. And if it sucks, well, it's probably going to suck. My first 100 videos sucked.
Oh, yeah.
You know, my first podcast sucked. My first blogs sucked, bro. I sometimes look back at them and I just cringe. It's horrible. So like everything you do sucks. You're not going to be good at anything up front, but the only way you get better is what?
Keep reps. Doing it. Yep. Repetitions. Yeah. Just if you want to build your muscles, you got to keep doing reps. If you want to get better at doing something, you got to continually do those reps. And I hear you on the video thing, man. I've shot a lot of video. I've done quite a few podcasts. Like I still screw up all the time, man. I'm like 10 takes on the same, you know, intro. So the big thing you have to do is just one of the guys I follow, Sean Cannell, says you got to punch fear in the face and you got to hit that record button. And ultimately somebody out there in your target market, you have what somebody else needs, and it's your responsibility and obligation to put that information out there. And if you don't, you're actually doing yourself a disservice and you're doing your potential client a disservice as well.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, punch fear in the face, hit record, go live with it. Nothing scarier than going live. 100%.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. I've had my challenges with a live video. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's fun,
so
though,
now how can
there's definitely an adrenaline component to that too.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So how can the audience connect with you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at N8 Training. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/N8Palmer. I have a sick group called Optimal Self Fitness, Nutrition, and Mindset. So that'd be facebook.com/groups/Optimal Self. You can find my book, Passport Fitness, on Amazon. You can find my podcast, $1 Million Body Podcast, on Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all the other places. You can connect with me in that Online Trainer Federation group. I'm one of the mentors in there. That's a good place to go and just, you know, kind of absorb, like I said, just advice and just different people that are doing stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
You can go back to my old like a MySpace page that I had in high school. Probably. I don't know. I'm online. You find me.
They'll find you. And actually what I'll do is I'll include, if you'll send over those links, I'll include them in the show notes for you.
Cool. We'll do.
Nate, I want to thank you for your time and all the value that you provided to the Fit Pro Business podcast. And I want to, again, just thank you for all the value you provided.
Yeah, brother. Thanks a lot for having me on, Andy. It was a lot of fun to rant with you.
Yeah, for sure. We'll connect again another time.
All right, man.
All right. We'll talk to you later.